Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. It's coming up to the end of the year, so I thought I'd just do a rundown of the knives and gear I've carried most throughout the entirety of 2024. Now there is quite a few that I did carry religiously at the start of the year which have now sort of left my collection, so unfortunately I can't show you some of those, but definitely have a load of the ones I carried in the second 6 months of the year. But yeah, we're just going to sort of run through just a pretty brief overview of each one, to be honest. Nothing too in-depth. Most of these have got full reviews on the channel, so if you want to find one, I'm sure you can sort of search through the archives and see what we got. But yeah, I'm going to start out with pouches, slips, torches, that sort of stuff. Honestly, the slip I've used pretty much every day since I picked it up is this. This is a Beard and Owl fabric slip. Now, I think these are absolutely fantastic. I'm honestly really preferring these to leather ones at the moment. Mainly for the fact when they're in my pocket, the leather ones have a tendency to sort of slide side to side, and in some of my sort of shorts I've got quite big pockets, and some of the slips even end up like this, and for some other reason that kind of bothers me quite a lot. So this one, with it being fabric, sort of grips and stays stood up in your pocket all the time. And the gear I've carried in this, pretty much, this got it purely just to put the pen in this side. So the SVJ, I think it's SVJ Workshop brass pen, and this is milled out of one solid bit of brass. Really nice bolt action pen, writes beautifully. See, it's taken a nice patina. This gets used all the time when I'm in the office writing notes, things like that. And then the other side has just had mainly the slip joint I've been carrying. And at the moment, this isn't going to be sort of featured in the video really, other than to show what's in there, because I've only just got this, but it's the Rosecraft Blades Farmhand Sod Buster. Really nice yellow sandalwood, put that to one side. But yeah, Beard and Owl slip, highly recommend these. They are about $20. You can find them on Instagram on the same name, I'm pretty sure it's beardandowl.com. Next up, something else is actually in a pouch already, and this is how I've been carrying it. This is the Victorinox Swiss tool, and this is an older one. You can see you've got the patent pending on there still. This has been in my pocket for the entirety of the property move I've been through, all the sort of renovations we're going through. It's just really convenient to use. You've got pliers, plus all these additional tools that you don't have to open the pliers up to access. So you've got screwdrivers, little tiny chisels. There's a serrated blade in there as well, which is great for sort of wiring. Sort of cuts through the wires a lot easier, and you can see that's had quite a little bit of use. There's a file in there. Pretty much everything you're going to want is in there to do any sort of household day-to-day task. Now, obviously, if I'm doing like a big job, I'll just get the correct tools, but in a pinch, this is absolutely perfect. For example, I was in the attic recently doing a little bit of wiring and didn't have sort of snips, so I used the ones that were on here, and it saved me sort of having to go all the way down to the garage and going to look for them, because with a move, I'm sure you'll understand that things get lost and you can never find them ever again. But this is the Swiss tool. Comes in a nice leather pouch from Victorinox. Torch I've been carrying religiously is any of my O-lights, to be honest. I've got a couple and I think they're all fantastic. This is the one I've got to hand that I'm carrying at the moment. This is the Batten Turbo. Now they're all orange. I just think that's the best thing really for a flashlight, to be nice and bright, with having sort of black or like a dark green flashlight. If you put it down in the dark, unless it's on, you're never going to find it. So that's why I went for the orange for these. It's got brightness indication on the left, which is these 4 dots, and then the battery on the right, which is those 4 dots. Says their battery brightness. That's some sort of model number there underneath. Batten Turbo, brim clip, which is here, and a pocket clip, which is underneath. Great bit of kit. Really like that thing. Not going to turn it on because, to know my luck, it'll be in strobe mode. Last sort of 6 months, been carrying a Zippo in my pocket because, you know, men got to have fire for whatever reason. Got a couple of different inserts for it. This is just the standard one, and this is a matte blue 1991 model, which, for any of you don't know, is my birth year. Love picking that one up. Picked up one recently as an RAF issue one as a memorial for my grandfather, which is really cool. And I've been carrying it in the Z clip from Zippo. Just sort of goes over your belt, clips in there, and it stays nice and secure without any worries that that's going to fall out. See, even if you shake it, there's no movement at all. It's secure in there, and all you have to do really to get it out is sort of push back on this little clip here and push up underneath, and it slides out. Obviously, you'd be doing it from this side because it'd be on your belt, but you can see, use your middle finger to push back, and then pull and push, comes out really easily. Nice and secure. On the keys. So this is a very new acquisition. This is the Olight I Mini 2. But until very recently, I've had this one on my keys for a very long time. You can see it's all sort of worn down. This is the IR2 Pro, currently on my car keys. But along with that, we've got the sort of little bead, twisted assisted sort of, I can't remember what they call it, tritium, that's the one. And then we have a rambler on there, which I put orange scales on, just to match the sort of theme of the keys. Black tools as well. Everyone's must have really for a 58mm is the rambler. It is perfect for any sort of small job you're going to need. And yeah, let's get into the knives. So start off with another small one. This is the Mini Champ. Now eagle-eyed viewers will know that the Mini Champ normally has a pen. I swapped that out to put these New Zealand scales on it. So I did carry a Mini Champ while I was in New Zealand, and it sort of reminds me of my time there. So I took them off at SD and put them on this. And honestly, the pen on this thing isn't the best, and I'm always carrying a pen anyway, so I don't really need the small one that's on here. But Mini Champ, you get all the usual sort of tools. The cuticle pusher, we'll call that. All the sorts of different bits and pieces. Really cool bit of kit. It's one of the larger 58mm in terms of layers, but definitely recommend that. And I put that now in a little pouch with a little leather lanyard on it, as I still like to carry this thing from time to time, just not on my keys currently. Let's take a look at a couple of moderns. Well, literally a couple. These are the two I've really enjoyed this year. This was a gift from Mikey Newman at Baldy's Blades. This is the Spyderco PM3, see USA made, and this has the CTS BD1N steel, and this is absolutely fidget friendly with that compression lock on the back. Now the lanyard on there, not a huge fan really. They're only on the moderns that have pocket clips to make it easier to pull them out of my pocket, but you can obviously Spidey flick and do all that sort of stuff with it if you're into that. Love this pocket knife. It's had loads of use. The blade is battered. It's my favourite sort of go-to for hard use, and honestly it's just great. If you haven't got a PM3, really suggest you try one. Another new pickup, which has actually been in my pocket every day since I got it, is the Dragonfly 2, and I don't understand why I haven't picked one of these up until now. This, well, you can see I've been using it today. It's got something on the lanyard. Is the Sprint Run with the Siki City Japan, of course, made. It's the Micromelt PD1 steel, so it's a carbon steel. You can see it's had quite a lot of use. I guess in that sort of patina on there, but it doesn't wash off, but it's got a black coating, so don't know, maybe I'll clean the blade and see if it comes off. Nice forward finger choil, gym pin, nice thumb ramp, back lock, very secure. Honestly, perfect size for my hand. I think when I go to the States for Blade Show, I think this is going to be the locker I'm going to carry while I'm there. Just think it's absolutely perfect. And I've tuned it in so that you can sort of flip it down like that and close it one-handed, and you can actually thumb flick this one open. Now you can get a reverse flick if you're good enough, but on camera I'm never going to get that, so we'll just go for a good old ruin thumb flick. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. But Dragonfly 2, love that thing. Another locker which I love carrying is the OG Buck 112. You can see the patina on this thing. It's had a lot of carry time, a lot of use, blade scratched up. Put the brass thumb bar on there, which I picked up from Heine Haynes. Makes it easier for a one-hand open. I know you can sort of grab the blade and flick it like this and open it like that, but I'm always conscious that I'm going to drop the knife or throw it on my foot. So I think the thumb bar works perfectly for that. Great addition to the knife. Fortunately not UK legal, but one I really wish we could carry. I mean, it's a fantastic looking knife. There's that one there. On to the UK legal stuff. So we'll go for Swiss Army knives first. This is a custom compact, so it had the corkscrew replaced and brass liners put in by Dan, Blade Bridge Customs. This is one of my favourites. You can see its logo on here. Of course the compact, very simple, just has the cap lifter, also the combo tool and the scissors and the blade. You have the hook with the file on it and normally a corkscrew but replaced for the Phillips. Little dangler on there for in the pocket. Now eagle-eyed viewers will also notice there's no pen on this. Now the reason for this is I always carry a pen. I've never really used the Victorinox pens because they're just so thin. I know you can put them behind the hook, but it's not the best. And these scales are actually a gift from Nigel Loftus. So Nigel, thank you very much for these. Wearing these with pride on the custom compact. I think they are fantastic looking. Look at the colour of those things. Love it. Makes it really comfortable on the hand as well. They're super grippy. Excellent. And something sort of, when you refresh the scales on these, it's like getting a new knife. So perfect for that. What else have we got here? This is a small climber, so an 84mm climber. This is obviously an advertising knife for Digitron. Has had a lot of use. This was pretty much new old stock by the condition of it. Nothing really much to show for wear. Just normal sort of use really, nothing damaging. You've got the 84mm scissors on there. Usual suspects of the cap lifter and the can opener, and on the back punch and the corkscrew with the grooves through it. But yeah, big fan of that one. This is a very recent one that I've carried a hell of a lot. This was a custom that Dan made for me and a load of people at Sharp Show in the UK. We had a sort of a collaboration together, so you can see Blade Bridge logo on there, and on the back he had my logo engraved on there. Now this is a Sportsman with a Phillips, so it's a small Tinker with a file, whichever way you want to put it. Pretty similar to both. Nice Kieranite exposed pins on that, copper liners. This thing is flawless. I love carrying this. Really nice. We have here a climber. Many of you know a favourite sentimental model for me, and this one has been exposed pins and brass. Again, Dan at Blade Bridge knocked up. Absolutely flawless. Love carrying this thing. It's one of the main carries that I sort of go to if I'm not sure. It's either this or the next one. So really nice example of a custom climber. We have the companion. Now this was the Live to Explore New York variation, and I sent it off to Dan and had him brass it. So by that I mean change all the liners for brass, and then when it came back there was a nice surprise, and the blade was changed to this. Really nice laser etched blade on both sides, perfectly done, razor sharp. And then I had a gift from Judd which included these emerald scales, and then I thought they'd look really cool on that, and they do, and I'm really glad I got these. So Judd, Dan, appreciate you both very much. The scales did look a lot better than this when I got them, but I've been carrying this at least 5 times a week because it's just a fantastic Swiss Army knife. So the companion. On to the knives then. So this was one from earlier in the year, a restoration I did. This is an Imperial Diamond Edge Barlow. It is the clamshell style where you've got the pinned bolsters and handles. 2-blade, nice carbon steel on there. Came up really well in the restoration. Nice pen blade too. Don't know what it is about these diamond edge ones. They put that little bit of extra effort into them, Imperial, and I mean you can really see the build quality is fantastic. Obviously it's the plastic covers down here. Maybe if these were redone in like a saw cut bone, that would be really cool. Great Barlow. Nice action, no half stop, nice little snap. Another one, again another Barlow. Good year for Barlows for me. I had quite a few in the mainstay rotation. This is a GEC. You can see it gets carried. The back springs are patinaed from use. This is the bone marrow bone. See like the rough parts out of it. We have a pen blade up front, and we're looking at pattern number 78. And then you can see it's 7, 8, 12, 24, 24 being this year. And then the main blade on there, coarse carbon steel with a genuine North American cattle bone. Nice patina on the blade as well from use. Touched up the edge a bit when I got this. GEC's edge are always quite fine, so I put a little bit more of an edge on it. Nothing major, nothing to make it seem that it's been sharpened back too much, just enough so that it's be a great working knife. And this thing it's flawless. I love this thing in the hand. Perfect sort of carry for any sort of gentleman's day out, anything like that really. GEC number 78. Next up, another Barlow is the 4-inch Barlow from Bear & Sons. This has the walnut covers, so you've got the carbon 4th generation on there. This one is absolutely flawless. No gaps, nothing like that. The only thing, it's very minor to pick up, is the centering's a little off, but for me, as long as it's not rubbing on the liner, I couldn't care less whether the centering's dead down the middle or not. But really nice sheep's foot blade, aggressive swedge, long pull, the Bear & Sons tang stamp, and then we have CS and USA on the back. little bit lighter on the pull, but that could just be due to where I'm opening it. So if I go back here, yeah, it's like a 7 if you open it here, but you're obviously going to be pinching this, so it's about a 6 right at the very front. This is right on the legal limit, so if you're unsure whether to carry it or not, I wouldn't, but in my town I've got no issues carrying this at all. It's a nice 4-inch carbon steel Barlow in walnut. Excuse me. Another usual suspect is the Oldtimer 80T. This is one I've pretty much carried religiously for about 2 years now. This is obviously a USA made one in the carbon steel. This one is very used. I picked up on the secondary market, which is why I made it into a carry knife. See that sheep's foot blade's worn down, spay blade's worn down. All I did was clean it up a bit, polish it, and then let my own natural patinas happen. And you can see from the back springs how much I've carried that. This ends in the palm a lot, obviously, with the main blade. So it'll be down there like that. Excellent knife. If you want to get into sort of stock ones or try them, I really recommend the Chinese made ones of these. Now, I know a lot of people aren't a fan of Chinese made knives. For me, as long as they're good quality, I'm not fussed where they come from. But yeah, you can pick those up for about £20 here in the UK. And if you like it, you can go on the hunt then for a USA made one and have a nice little collection of stock ones on the way. But would highly recommend any of the Oldtimer USA models. Next up is one I had for my birthday back in June from my brother, who's in New Zealand. So he had this ordered from Heine and it sent over to me. This is the Case Junior Sodbuster in the red synthetic. This is part of the American Workman series. So of course you get the well, it did say carbon steel with it being the, you know, the etched on tangs now instead of, you know, the stamps. It's kind of hard to see. And the other thing with that is you can see the dots are wearing off on this side, which is a bit of a shame. Of course, carbon steel, excellent work knife, no wobble, no play. And this thing actually came sharp out of the box, and I was quite surprised at that. All I did was strop it, and I carried this thing for weeks before I sort of changed that out of my rotation because, excuse me, it's just a very sentimental knife, but excellent edge on there. It's even pretty much dead center as well. Look at that. Great series to get into. This or the yellow Delvin would be perfect choices for your first Case Sodbuster. Next up, let's take a look at a British knife. So this is from George Wostenholme. Now I picked this up on Etsy for an absolute steal. And I suppose I'd not seen anything like it before. So I've seen an electrician's knife, so let's rephrase that. I've seen an electrician's knife like this, as in main blade and the electrician's tool. What I hadn't seen was one with a file. Now I think that is one of the coolest things ever, and I love this thing. Carried it loads, actually carried it to Sharp Show this year. See, I mean, look how well that blade is. There's loads of use left on that. It almost looks unused apart from the scratches. Of course, with it being carbon steel, it patinas really well. Nice wooden covers on this. Fit and finish, pretty good. Tiniest of gaps on the back, nice action. Honestly, if you find one of these, pick it up. They're so cool. What else have we got? One of the ones earlier from the year as well that I carried a lot is the Cane Creek Jack. This is, of course, in the sandalwood, and I always forget, is this the red? This is the red sandalwood. You can see this has been carried. There's gunk everywhere on it, but look at the grain on that. Fit and finish is flawless. The wood is phenomenal. Honestly, it's been so hard to pick a knife of the year this year. There's loads of British contenders. There's multiple Rosecrafts I would pick. That Bear & Sons is fantastic. Honestly, it's been really hard. But tomorrow on the S&T show, we're going to be doing Knife of the Year. So that'll be on the 15th of December 24, 6 PM UK or midday Central. So make sure you come and check out that. We'll have a load of knives to run through. Loads of different categories. It's sort of like an award system. But I think that would be an excellent show. Another one that's honestly real high up in my Knife of the Year category is the Stink Creek Sow Belly. Again, from Rosecraft. This is in the black sandalwood. I mean, what more can I say? I love a sow belly, and look at that thing. Beautiful. The last three is sort of, we've got 3 British and 1 Japanese. So the Japanese is this. This was a gift from Mikey Newman. This is just a Japanese jackknife. No brand, just says Japan stainless steel on it. Pretty sure that's rosewood on there with brass bolsters either end. Build quality is pretty good. Nice edge on that sort of, I don't know, really drop point, clip point style blade. Not really a clip, it's not really a drop clip maybe. Nice long pull on there. Had quite a lot of use, this thing. It does have a half stop, but a bit of a wobbly one, but doesn't take anything away from the knife. Nice action, pretty much dead center. This has got an ideal pull on it of about a 7 to a 7.5. Fantastic knife. Really appreciate you sending this over, Mikey. It's, well, you can see it's in my most carried a year, so that's what I think about it. What do we got here? So this is an Ashley Harrison custom. Now this was his take on a sod buster, so we've named this the Brit Buster. 01 tool steel blade is all oiled up, but it's currently not being used right this second. Did clean it off, but this thing was black from use. Nice red micarta, bird's eye pivot. Build quality, flawless. Honestly, this thing is superb. I really hope he puts these into main production, or if you want one, get in touch and he'll make you a custom one. They are just out of this world good. Feel the hand really nice, just over a 4-inch handle, UK legal blade, really comfortable. Great work knife. So that is the Ashley Harrison Brit Buster with ridiculous snap to it. Run out of room down here. Just got the two more. This was a couple months ago I picked this up. This is an Ashley Harrison again in Koa Wood Barlow. Worked back springs with the 01 tool steel spear blade in there. This thing's phenomenal. Again, love carrying it. Gets a lot of use. Such a versatile blade, the spear blade, especially this gentleman's blade. Really makes it sort of a smart carry. Nice coined liners as well. Quite hard to see on the camera. You can see them a bit better up here. Excellent stuff. And the last one is probably my second-hand knife pickup of the year, if I'm honest. It's a T. Ellen Vulcan Stockman. Jig bone, carbon steel, brass, usual suspects. But the action is phenomenal. When you look at the blade, put a nice little edge on it and that's it. Vulcan, T. Ellen & Co. of Sheffield. Just listen to this. Same with every blade as well. Sheep's foot, loads of use left. Spade blade, which is almost like a sod buster blade, and actually I've got one out here, a case sod buster, so we can sort of compare the blade shapes and see what I mean. See that there? Doesn't it look like a mini sod buster blade, just with a little spade chipped up bit off the top. So this is actually a spade blade that I actually quite like. I think it's really cool. Super sharp, great action, flawless build quality. Absolutely love this thing. But there we go, guys. That is my most carried knives and EDC gear of the year. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.